Hey guys, it's Rebecca from Mama Bear Custom Wreaths, and welcome to my channel, Mama Bear Custom Wreaths, where I make wreaths and all things home decor, and I show you how I do it all. So today we're going to be making an Easter swag, and we are going to use our painter stick, which is a 21-inch painter stick that you can get at any hardware store, paint supply store. Before we keep going, if you have not hit the subscribe button, please do so you guys can catch all of my tutorials. Okay guys, so we're gonna use our painter stick and we're gonna get 15 chenille stems. I probably have a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I just grabbed a bunch. But we're gonna need 15 chenille stems to make our little arms and legs. It's gonna hold all of our mesh and all of our ribbons. Now you guys have already seen the wreath, the swag that I've made in the pictures. I don't know yet, so we're gonna just kind of go step by step as we go. Okay, so we're gonna take our chenille stem and we're gonna take our painter stick, pick any side. I use 3 fingers like this from the edge, and that's where I start my first chenille stem. So what I'll do is I will put my chenille stem at the bottom of my painter stick and then just twist it on. And maybe 2 to 3 turns. And this is the first one right in the middle. Now I'm gonna do that 2 more times. And I'm gonna do another same spot and the 3 fingers away from the edge. And that spot, I'm gonna wrap it around 2-3 times on one end, and then on the other end I am going to do it one last time so that we have a total of 3 chenille stems. So we did it 3 times so that we have, scoot that over, so that we have 3 chenille stems. We're going to do that again on the other side at 3 fingers. Put our chenille stem right underneath that. And we're going to tightly wrap our chenille stem 2 to 3 times in the middle. And then we are going to get our chenille stem and wrap it on one of the sides. 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna wrap our chenille stem on the other side. And make sure they're nice and tight so that they don't roll off. You don't want rolling mesh off your door. So here's what it looks like on this side. So we have 3 and 3. Now we're gonna just kind of eyeball where the center of our space is right here, where we tied our chenille stems. So I'd say right about here. If you want to measure it, you can. I kind of eyeball everything. And in the center, we're again going to do the same thing, 3 little legs, 3 little sets of arms. And we're going to wrap those tightly. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Okay, so now that we have our 3 sets of chenille stems, trios, I guess, we're gonna do the same exact thing in the halfway point between these 2 and the halfway point between these 2. So we're gonna end up having a total of 5 sets. So this is what it looks like at the end. We have 5. Okay, now that we have our swag base, let's get to our Deco Mesh. So I'm using 10-inch Deco Mesh, so 10-inch from here to here. And I'm gonna be using this really cute purple with like little bits of kind of like a pinkish gold in it. This pink and white and this jute. mesh. And what I did with our Deco Mesh was I cut each piece of Deco Mesh. I rolled it out and I cut it at 30 inches length, okay? So we're gonna cut each strand, each piece of Deco Mesh at 30 inches. Now we have 15 legs on our swag base. So since I'm using 3 different colors, we are going to cut five five pieces of each color. So I'm gonna have 5 purple, 5 jute, and 5 pink, okay? And we'll be right back to put them back on. Okay, so let's get our swag base and let's get our mesh. So we've cut each piece 30 inches. We are going to get our mesh and we are going to just kind of roll the edges in about this much. This is to prevent fraying. So that's why we're rolling in our mesh. And then we're going to just kind of wrinkle our mesh to the center. And it's gonna make this funky little butterfly. I'm gonna put this butterfly right inside of one of my chenille stems. I'm gonna use this one on the edge, okay? So this one's gonna be one of my outer colors, okay? So we have that. Now I'm gonna do a center piece. And if rolling it in is too hard or it looks kind of funky, you have arthritis, let me show you. Let me get something heavy here. You can use your scissors, a coffee cup, a jar, whatever. A different way we can roll it, okay? So let's just take 2 things that are heavy. So I could take these 2 scissors and y'all excuse my mess here. And 2 clothespins or potato chip clips or whatever thing can just clip on, okay? So 2 things that are heavy. We're gonna put something heavy like this. I'm gonna scooch it all the way to the other side. And on this side, I'm gonna begin rolling my mesh and make my little cigars, okay? I'm gonna do that, and then when I'm done, I'm just gonna put a clip. Then I'm gonna turn it around the other way, put something heavy on that side, just like that, like we did the last time. And then I'm gonna roll my mesh on the other edge. And then once I have it rolled enough, I am going to put a clip. Now, I am going to get my clips. I have my 2 pieces like this now. Looks like a little scroll. Now I'm just gonna walk with my fingers, just kind of bring in the other side of my mesh. Take my clips off, and voila! I have my little butterfly. It actually does look better this way. I just get lazy and do it this way, but this way does look better. I've noticed. So, you wanna be lazy like me, or you wanna do it, it takes a little bit longer, but it looks a little bit better. You could do it the other way. Up to you. And just tie it once or twice, because we're gonna be taking these our little ties and opening them up again later. So don't tie them too tight, just once, just twice really is all you need. So I'm gonna get my pink one and do the same thing. I'm gonna make it look nice and use something heavy. Roll my mesh on the edge with my little scroll. And then get the other side, and I'm shedding, so let's not have my hair in the wreath, in the swag. And roll that in, put my clip, and then just walk the other side in. And that leaves me my butterfly. I will put my butterfly on the edge. And then just tie it in there. one twice, okay? So this is what it looks like. And I'm gonna do this all the way down. Now, because I started with purple on this side, I'm gonna do purple on this side, and I'm just gonna alternate the colors so that there's a different color. You know, it looks just different colors. It looks more colorful, more lively than just on the same side. But if you wanna use one Deco Mesh color, you can use the same Deco Mesh color. It'll still look just as pretty. If you want to use two, however many you want to use, because I am using 3 different ones, I just like to alternate mine. But you don't have to, whatever you think looks good on yours. So we're gonna put that one on the opposite side. Now, when I'm putting these in, I'm gonna kind of lift the other mesh from the first roll. I'm gonna lift it a little bit so that this one can fit, because now they're gonna be fighting for room on our swag. So have that. Now I'm gonna do pink. Do it the lazy way, the quick way. That one in the middle. And again, I'm gonna lift up this mesh and put that roll, cruffle, I think is the name of it, in the middle. And we're gonna get our jute. And roll that one on that side. Roll this one on this side. And cruffle it in. Lift the prior row so that I can put this one in. Tie it up. Voila! Okay, so we have this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lift the sides of the first row and the second row, just so that it's not squishing in, but it pops up like this, okay? So we're gonna do this all the way down. We're gonna be alternating colors as we go, all right? I'll see you in just a little bit. Okay, so I finished putting in the Deco Mesh, and I'm just separating it so that it doesn't overlap and look crowded. And this is what our base for our swag looks like this far. Now here at this point is where I look at our wreath, at our swag, I keep saying wreath, and I decide what's gonna be my top and what's gonna be my bottom. So I think I want this to be my top. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a Chanel stem, and right here in the back, I'm going to tie that to the back of my wreath, to the back of my swag. I'm gonna make another little knot twice, and then I'm going to just kind of, I don't know if you could see, make a little circle, and it's gonna have a cross. I'm gonna show it to you. It's kind of gonna look like an Easter bunny. So I'm gonna take a little circle, kind of make it into like a little cross like this, okay? And then I'm just gonna tie and twist my Chanel stem all the way to the end so that it makes a little loop like that. You guys see that little loop? And that will be where we will hang our swag from. I do it at the end because I don't know which side is gonna be the top, which side is gonna be the bottom, until I look at it. But if you know from the beginning, you could do it at the beginning. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside. So I already cut my ribbon, but I'm gonna show you guys what I did. I just measured my ribbon at 14 inches and I used my ribbon scissors. Not my kitchen scissors, not my paper cutting scissors, not any other kind of scissors, nose hair scissors, whatever scissors you have. They're my ribbon scissors. So I use my ribbon scissors, and at 14 inches, I cut the length of my ribbon. And what I also did was I folded, so you see how the edge is straight? Well, I'm gonna make it with something that's called a dovetail. Some people call it fishtail, all kinds of tails you can call it. Whatever you want to call it, it has a little V at the end. So we're gonna fold our ribbon from one edge to the other edge. Here's the edges, and this is the crease on this side. And I'm gonna cut downwards towards the crease. And we have a dovetail, fishtail, whatever kind of tail. And we're gonna do that on each side. So I did that to all of my ribbon. So I have a total. So we're gonna put ribbon on only the outer edge of our swag. So if you remember, we have 5 pieces. So we have 5 on the left, 5 on the right. So we need a total of 10 sets of ribbon. I'm using 2 ribbons. I'm actually using 4 ribbons, 2 in each set. So I cut 5 pieces of my 2 sets. Okay, I have this. I have 5 of these. 5 of these. These 2 are going to go together. 5 of these and 5 of these. Okay, so let's get our first set. Our egg and our pretty plaid. And I'm going to get both of them, one on top of the other. And then I am going to fold them in half, like so. And then right in the middle, I'm just going to pinch it really tight so that I make this little bat, okay? And then I'm going to come back to my swag. And remember I told you that not to tie our chenille stems so tight because we were going to open them up and use them again. This is where we're going to use them again. So we're going to untie our chenille stem on the outer edge here. And then we're just going to put in the center here where we're pinching, right in the center of our chenille stems, we're going to put our ribbon, and then we're going to tie it right back up again. And we're going to tie it nice and tight. 1, 2, 3. And then that's tied. We're going to fix our ribbon later. Right now we just want to get them attached. Now right now is a good time if you want to either roll your ribbon, your chenille stem out of the way so you can't see it, or if you want to cut it off. It's up to you. We're not going to be using them again, so you could cut it off. Now, if you are going to cut it off, I would highly suggest you not use your ribbon scissors or any scissors, but use wire cutters because this will tend to ruin your scissors. So I just cut off the edge and then I'm going to throw it away. Okay, so I'm going to do our second set, which is this. These are all Dollar Tree ribbon, by the way. I think this one might not be, but the other 3 are. And I am going to put them together, fold it in half, and then pinch right at our half point, and we have our little bat. And then I'm going to open up the next chenille stem. And then I'm going to put it right there in the middle. Close my chenille stem. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to take my wire cutters, bolt cutters, whatever they're called, and snip off my edge. Snip off the edges of the chenille stem. Now you could wait till the very end to do this. You could do it as you go, whatever floats your boat. So far, this is what it looks like. Okay. And we're going to just keep alternating all the way around until we're done with all 10. All right. Okay, Okay, so this is what our base looks like. I know, it doesn't look so great right now, but trust me, it will. Just stay with me. Don't give up on me. I promise you it will look nice. So we're gonna separate these ribbons and fluff them up towards the end because we're gonna squish them all right now. So there really isn't a point in doing all that if we're gonna have to do it again in the end anyway. So this is our cute little sign, and I'm gonna cut this off. Isn't that cute? It's a little bunny with his carrots, trying to get his carrots, and it says, "Hop on in, every bunny." So I'm gonna put our bunny sign right here on top, okay? And I'm actually gonna move you guys above me so that you guys can see from a bird's eye view what we're doing. Okay, so this is our base, what it looks like. And we're gonna put this sign right there, okay? So we're gonna take our chenille stems and we're going to make a little cross, and then we're going to tightly wrap them together, okay? Really, really tight. And this is so that we can extend the length of our chenille stem, because we're going to tie this to the back of our swag and to our sign. Okay, so we have two of them. So here is our sign, and what we're going to do is take these cable mounts that are impossible to unpeel, to peel, not unpeel, to peel. Ah! There we go. So we take off the paper in the back, and we're just gonna stick it right there. We're gonna take another one and stick that right there. And we are going to put our sign right here, I think. So we're gonna take our chenille stem and this is why we want it to be tight so it could fit right here. We're just gonna tie it to the back of the cable mount of our sign onto the cable mount like that. So we have two little legs that we're going to use to wrap to secure our sign into our swag base. If it doesn't go through, it's okay. So here's our sign, and I think it would look good right there. Now, what I'm thinking of doing on this wreath base is getting 2 carrots underneath here, and then a bow right here, and then on top 2 other carrots. So I'm just kind of measuring where I want everything, and right here would be stupendous. My son says that word. It's stupendous. And we're just going to wrap our chenille stems through our mesh, our ribbon, and then tighten it. Let's make sure it's not too tight. So I'm going to wait until I tighten it to make sure I have it right where I want it. We're going to get our next piece, our next chenille stem. I think we want it right here. Let me just make sure. Now, one mistake that I see a lot of wreath makers make, especially newer ones, is that they squish their sign down really, really tightly onto the wreath or swag, and then it just looks squished. We don't want that. So we're gonna have it on there securely, but not to where it's squishing our ribbon and our mesh. So I think right here is perfect. So and our sign is attached. We can go back and cut that off at the end, but in case we need to move it again or anything, I'm just gonna leave it on there just in case, okay? Just in case. And that is our little bunny sign. This is our sign, and I have these two adorable little carrots, and I was thinking of putting one just right here and one just right here. I think that would look so cute. Like two little carrots fell off of our little bunny's blue truck. So we are going to take, it does have a little bow here, so I'm going to keep this part on top. So we are going to take a hot glue gun and just glue it on because these carrots are so light. Just be glued on to the mesh. So let's add plenty of glue. And then we could put our carrot, a little bit of weight on there. Put one carrot right there. And I was thinking putting the other carrot right here. So we'll go put some hot glue gun, our hot glue gun, and just add a nice amount of hot glue. Careful not to burn your fingertips. And put our second carrot right under there. Oh, look how cute that looks. I love it. So we're gonna put something a little bit heavy just till it secures to our mesh. Don't worry about these ribbons. Trust me, we will fix them in a minute. Have a little bit of faith in me. It will look nicer. Okay, so that looks so cute. Our carrots, I was thinking perhaps putting one here. Stay in there. And then maybe putting one here. And then maybe an egg. Aren't these cute? These are little styrofoam eggs with a skewer as well. Maybe putting one here. Oh yeah, I love that. Okay, so let's just put glue on our skewers. And stick them where we want them. So it's attaching to the mesh is how it's sticking. And just leave it there for a sec. Now let's get our carrot. Let's put some hot glue on our carrot. And put that right there. We'll twist it a little bit so that it gets in the mesh. We want to make sure to glue it to mesh because the mesh is what is going to keep it on. If we glue it to the ribbon, it's not really going to stay. But the mesh, because it's plastic, will melt. So let's see. Oh yeah, there's plenty of mesh right there. Get some more hot glue. I'm dripping it everywhere. I usually have a glue pot on. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm on a lot of green tea. that I use instead of putting the glue gun, but I just didn't feel like heating it up. It takes a while. And a lot of people don't have a glue pot, so this will work. Kind of twist it a little bit so that it stays. And then we're gonna put glue on this stick. I'm gonna do it over my little tile here because I keep putting it on my cutting mat, which does protect my table, but I'm gonna have to peel all that glue off. It's not fun. So let's put an egg right there. Move it around so that it sticks to my mesh. Oh, this is so cute. Just throwing little carrots everywhere. So I want to make a bow right here, but I don't have enough of ribbon of our old rolls. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these as tails to not waste ribbon. So this is gonna be a funky way to make a ribbon, but it will save you ribbon in the future. So we're going to take our ribbon, just kind of make an 8 like that, okay? So just fold it under here for one of the loops, and then under here for another one of the loops. And then we're going to measure, make sure that they're even. How big do we want our first loop? Our first loops in our bow. That's a pretty good size. Be close to the size of our truck. We are going to cut it right here because, and we'll put this away, and that's our bow. But we want to add a tail to it, and since this was left over, we're just going to use these as our tail. We're just going to put it right behind there like that. And that is one of our bows. So I'm going to use that chip clip and hold this, and there's one of our bows. And we're going to do that with each of our ribbon to save our ribbon. Okay, so this one we don't need to do that because this one we have enough of. So we're going to do our tail, and about as long as this one, so it's about as long as that is. Just eyeball it. I'm going to pinch, okay? I'm going to pinch right here. Then I'm going to make my loop, my first loop. Now, I am going to want my loop to be smaller than the one right before it, so that you can see the one before it. So you see I left a little bit of space there. So that's where I pinched it. So I'm going to pinch it there. Then I'm going to take the ribbon. So this is the front. This is our loop. Now we're on the back of our bow. We're going to bring the ribbon from the back to the front. Y'all, I have too much energy. And then we're going to measure our loop. Oh, that's a really huge loop. And make sure that they're even. This takes you back to when you were learning how to tie your shoelaces. Okay. So that, cut our tail. Don't worry, we're going to dovetail it. So now we're going to take our previous bow. We're just going to add this one right on top and then clip it again. This one next, okay? So here's our tail. For this one, let's cut off this right here. It's in half like this. Here's our tail, and we're just gonna make our loop, measure it against the last one, So we're gonna bring our other side forward. I do have a bow tutorial in my list of videos. I know I don't concentrate on bows when I'm doing my tutorials. And this is a funky bow because we're using leftover. But I thought it'd be fun to show you guys a good way to save on your ribbon. We just add our tail from the old ribbon, add it to this, and now we have this so far. See? Okay, we're gonna add one more. So we have this tail. Fold it in half, that's gonna be our tail. And then our bow, we're going to make a loop-de-loop. And it's going to be a smaller loop than the one before. Okay, so about that long. Just gonna roll it in the back. Is it halfway? Yep, it is. Okay. Cut this. Add our tail. And let's get the rest of our bow together. Just add it to the very top. And then let's straighten out our bows. Make sure the ribbon looks nice before we tighten it up. We are going to add the chenille stems right here to the back because that's what we're going to use to tie it on. And then we're going to get our zip tie. And make sure our bow, especially the front one, our ribbon looks nice. We're gonna get our zip tie. Yeah. Okay, one last time, let's look at our ribbon. Make sure we like where everything is at. And then tighten it. All right. Get our cutters here. And we saved a bunch of our ribbon for another project. See that? We used what we had left over. I know, it looks like a mess right now, but I promise you, don't leave me yet. We will make this look pretty. We are going to add our bow right here to the bottom. Now our carrots glued on this mesh, so I'm going to just kind of go through it with the chenille stem. Poke through, and feel free to poke through your mesh. It actually helps steady the bow better, because if you're tying it through the mesh as well, that's just more for it to adhere to, and it keeps it in place better. Okay, so I'm gonna tie it like I tied our bow to the back of our swag base. I'm gonna tie it nice and tight. Bows are a little bit different. You do want your bows nice and tight, okay? They're like the sign, because bows will droop if they're not on tightly. Okay. So let's fluff out our bow. And then our tails, we can keep them this long, make them shorter. You decide. We are going to just kind of roll our ribbon, just massage it and roll it. Give it some love. Because it's wired, even the Dollar Tree ribbon is wired, okay? It's not like the thickest of wires, but it is wired. So you're able to mold it a little bit to the shape that you want. And we want it to be full. So we want it to kind of pop. So we're gonna roll it like this. Just roll it, roll it. And we can stand up our wreath to see how long we want it. I actually like it this long. It actually looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna leave it alone. I'll dovetail the bottom part. So I'm just gonna dovetail the ends, but I really like this length. It makes it look really, really cool at the bottom. I was not expecting it to look this cool actually at the bottom, so. Just cut them. Just keep cutting, just keep cutting. Okay, so we have our tails. Now let's go around our wreath and let's get our ribbon tails, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna roll them out and let's try to separate them a bit so that you can see the individual ribbons, okay? So roll and just kind of open up and separate them. This one's really sheer, but it looks really pretty against this one because they both have blues in there. And just kind of separate them a little bit so that you could see our beautiful ribbon. And this ribbon was from the Dollar Tree. So was the sign, so were the eggs, so were the carrots. So I think the mesh was not from Dollar Tree though. This is 10-inch mesh, and Dollar Tree only sells 6-inch, although I think they're starting to sell 10-inch, but for a higher price. But I've only seen it at some of them, so yeah. So the mesh is not, the mesh and our painter stick are not from Dollar Tree, but everything else is. So this is a very cute wreath that we can make on a budget, and I'm all about the budget. Look at how cute this came out. Oh, I love it. Look how long our tail is. It really elongates our swag. I'm gonna give you a little close up. All those cute carrots just flying out of our truck with our bunny digging through them. If you guys like this tutorial, please subscribe to my channel and leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what state you're in. I am in Texas. Also check me out on all my social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I have an Etsy shop. I'm even on X. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.